Hi guys, today is day number 12, and in today's video I'm going to tell you about the one and only time I've ever had food poisoning. Why am I going to tell you this? I don't know. Let's be honest, I don't know why I do half the things I do, but anyway, seriously though, if you've never had food poisoning, consider yourself lucky because I can tell you it is not a fun experience at all whatsoever. But anyway, the one and only time I've ever had food poisoning, I was 14 years old, and I got it from this Italian restaurant in a town I frequently visit. That's relatively close to where I live. Now, let me point out before I go on that I have eaten at this Italian restaurant practically my entire life, and this is the one and only time I've ever gotten food poisoning from that place. That said, when this happened, I was like I said, I was 14, and I believe I was in my first year in high school at the time. And anyway, it was a Saturday night, and as usual, my parents and I were in this particular town, and we were eating at this Italian restaurant, which I'm not going to tell you the name of it for obvious reasons. Anyway, and at that point, as usual, as I always did, I ordered the spaghetti, which I have always loved for spaghetti, but that's another story. Anyway, when we got our food, I immediately noticed that the spaghetti looked really strange in comparison to how I normally did. I actually can remember saying to myself upon first eating my food that I actually remember saying to myself, "Dang, this spaghetti looks awfully soupy." And it did. I mean, I remember noticing that the sauce looked really, really soupy, which was very unusual. But I didn't really think anything about it. So I ate it anyway. I don't think I ate all of it, but I ate a good bit of it. And it was about an hour later where my parents and I were in the mall in that particular town, and I was in the arcade that they have, and I believe I was playing House of the Dead 2. And as I was playing, just all of a sudden it hit me. My vision, it started with my vision getting really blurry all of a sudden. I didn't I remember rubbing my eyes, and that seemed to help, at least for a few moments. But unfortunately, after rubbing my eyes and my vision going back to normal, they would just as quickly go back to being blurry. My vision, that is. And just for some reason, all of a sudden, after that, I started getting really disoriented by by House of the Dead 2, and it got to the point that I just had to stop playing, and I just had to leave the arcade and everything, and I don't know, I must have been completely out of it or something, because I can remember my mother saying later on that. When I came out of the arcade, I looked like I didn't know where I was. So I mean, I must have been out of it or something. I don't know, because she actually, I remember her actually saying I looked like I had no clue where I was when I came out. But and after that, we came on home, and by that point, my vision was okay by that point, but by the time we got home, my head was killing me. It was probably the worst headache I've ever had, at least up until that point, and very well maybe even to this point. I pretty much ended up getting in the bed as soon as we got home, and it wasn't long after that with everything that was going on, my parents took me to the emergency room where we live. And the next thing I can remember, I'm sitting in the hospital, not the waiting room, but the actual room in the emergency room, waiting for the doctor. And as I'm sitting there with my parents waiting for the doctor to come in, I just started throwing up everywhere. And you could probably guess what made up a good portion of what I threw up, and yes, you would be right in saying it was the spaghetti. And the doctor pretty much said, yeah, I had food poisoning. And I don't remember what happened after that, but obviously it turned out okay because I'm still here. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the one time I've ever had food poisoning, and I can honestly say I don't care to have it again. Yeah, if you can avoid having it, yeah, you definitely want to do so. Yeah, and that's pretty much my story today, and thanks for watching. So see you guys tomorrow.